Today we're heading to Murders at Karlov Manor Standard to do some burning, but mostly with enchantments and tokens. So here is our Boros token enchantment burn deck. And this deck is all in on War Leader's Call, one of the best cards from Murders at Karlov Manor. So 3-mana enchantment, it pumps our creatures +1/+1, and when a creature ATBs, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So the goal of our deck is to really take advantage of both modes of this card. We got a ton of enchantments that make tokens, like Skrelv's Hive makes a Might each turn, Wedding Announcement makes a 1/1 each turn, Virtue of Loyalty can make a 2/2, eventually comes down to pump our creatures. These cards work really well with War Leader's Call. Once we have War Leader's Call on the battlefield, every time we make a Wedding Announcement token or a Skrelv's Hive token, we're getting a damage from War Leader's Call to burn our opponent out of the game. Plus, War Leader's Call is turning our 1/1s into 2/2s and making them bigger so we can get in some damage with our creatures as well. We also have a bunch of 1-drops that happen to make artifact tokens like Novice Inspector and Voldaren Epicure. These let us Gleeful Demolition to make 3 tokens for 1 mana, which is a lot of power with War Leader's Call, and like a Lava Spike to our opponent's face, 3 direct damage. And then we have 1 Song of Tatanzan, which is our surprise finisher. It just makes X rats for X plus 1 red mana. So in the late game, when we have 5 or 6 or 7 lands, we just dump all of our mana into this, get a huge amount of burn from our War Leader's Call, and a bunch of hasty rats that can smash in to close out the game. So that's kind of the main goal of the deck. Otherwise, Wandering Emperor makes tokens and its removal. Get Lost, I guess, technically makes tokens, but they're not that helpful. Although I guess we could like kill one of our own creatures to get a map to Gleeful Demolition or something, but it's mostly to kill our opponent's creatures. Mana base is a little bit funny. So we're pretty aggro and our curve is pretty low, but we're playing 26 lands, but we're not really playing 26 lands. If you look at our mana base, we have 4 Sokenzan Crucible of Defiance, even though it's legendary, so we can only ever put 1 on the battlefield. The other 3 are purely for just channeling to make 1/1 tokens. So it's another way we can trigger our War Leader's Call, get some bodies on the battlefield, burn our opponent, and we also have Mirexes. So if we do flit out with the deck, we just make Might tokens and burn you that way. Every time we activate it, we're dealing damage with our War Leader's Call. As far as the sideboard, this is where pretty much all of our removal is. In the main deck, we have very minimal removal. We're pretty much set up to grind through mid-range decks, control decks. Once we run into aggro, we just bring in a bunch of Sunfalls and Brother Sudens and Lightning Helixes, Destroy Evils, Lithomantic Barrages, and kind of play like a control deck almost, where we just stack up our enchantments, stack up our War Leader's Call, kill all your stuff, and eventually burn you out of the game. And that is Boros Token Enchantress Bird for Murders at Karlov Manor Standard. That's our Munch Brew deck for today. So let's jump into some games and see if we can burn opponents out by playing a bunch of enchantments. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap up. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. We've got new tokens and playmats, and you can even get the tokens signed if you want. Check them all out over at mtggoldfishmerch.com. We are playing some Boros token burn, I guess. Some War Leader's Call token burn, and well, we got the War Leader's Call. We got tokens. Seems like a keep. We'll see what our opponent's up to. Hello, opponent. Mono red. Interesting. Well, let's... Yeah, let's Ganju and pass. There's some upside to Virtue of Loyaltying here. Oh, it's Rakdos. Okay. Blood type Havista. Well, we will make a 2/2. Opponent gets a blood. I'll play the land, and let's get down the War Leader's Call, and I think we start attacking. Opponent's going to trade it off. Well, I mean, this is the main game plan, right? We need to get down the War Leader's Call, and then, whenever we make a token, we burn. And hopefully, eventually, our opponent dies. Opponent, blood type Havista. Are we really sacking a blood? We're sacking a blood, discarding a swamp. Okay. I mean, we have a Shielder Dancer, which is nice. Well, I guess we just get down the Skrelv's Hive for now. And a Bivouac. So, Skrelv's Hive, every turn, burn ya. And it makes the 2/2. Opponent, another mountain. Opponent shouldn't be very good at killing enchantments. Rakdos is probably the worst color at dealing with enchantments, honestly. Hungry for more. Okay, opponent's getting frisky, I guess. Discards another Hungry for more. Heads us down to 14. Alright, well, we make a 1/1. We burn you for 1. Ooh. Ooh. Opponent has 1 mana up, so it still could go wrong, right? If we just Well, let's play the Bivouac. Play with Fire seems like the kind of card our opponent could be playing. I think we just pass. I think we just pass a Wandering Emperor. Gleeful Demolition would be sweet, but there's also potential that we get blown out. Attacks. Well, that's Wandering Emperor. And get rid of the Blood Tithe Harvester.
That's coming off.
Gain back. I have not seen anyone play Hungry for more in Standard. Spicy. Well, we make a Might. We burn ya. So we have another Hungry for more. I think we play Wedding Announcement. Make a 2/2.
I guess that's
That can block this time, and we might as well get in with the Mites. They don't have interaction, do they? You know what? We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We got the get lost. Burn ya with the 2/2. It's kind of working. This actually feels pretty sweet. War Leader's card is that, like, this is so like good game. Wait, are we dying? Okay, you're scooping. So this is exactly an example of why I'm so hyped for War Leader's Call. So Impact Tremors would be insane in a deck like this, right? The problem is Impact Tremors, if you don't have it on turn 2, it's really bad. So Impact Tremors is the burn half of War Leader's Call. If you don't know what Impact Tremors is, it's like a combo piece, because the problem is, so let's say you have Impact Tremors on turn 2. It's amazing. You play it on turn 2, you play your tokens, you burn your opponent. It's super sweet. The problem is, let's say you don't draw on turn 2 and you draw it on turn 6 and you've already played all your token stuff. Then it's like literally a dead draw off the top of your deck. War Leader's Call solves this problem. So if you have it on turn 3, awesome. If you play it before your tokens, awesome. When you play your tokens, you're going to burn them. If you play it after your tokens, awesome. It's going to pump your tokens. And that really just changes the equation by so much. Like, stapling 2 cards together makes for a better version of those cards. Who would have guessed? When you put two fairly powerful effects together, you end up with an even more powerful effect. I think we bring in the, oh my god, it's Lightning Helix. This is the main reason I want to play the deck, so can make Lightning Helix jokes. I can already feel people unsubbing. Y'all are unsubbing as I speak. I know it. I know you. I know you. All right, 4 Lightning Helixes. I won't say it unless we draw them. Preferably top deck. If we top deck it, how can I resist? How can I resist if we top deck it? Wow, that felt solid. Oh my god. You know what? I think we keep this. A little sketch that we only have 1 land, but this hand's kind of explosive, right? Epicure, Gleeful Demolition. Wait, are we scooping? I got a 1-lander too. Opponent, your hand is probably better than mine. All right. Well, I will say our opponent was very polite. They very politely conceded on turn 1. I wish we could have played that game out, because I'm very curious how it would have actually went. But so far, so good. Let's jump into another one. Yeah, I feel like War Leader's Call is going to be one of the better cards from the set. When it's all said and done, and we look back on Murders at Karlov Manor, I think it's going to go down as one of the better cards. I'm still trying to figure out the power level of this set, honestly. There's some cards I think have overperformed and impressed me. Other cards have been about as bad as expected. Well, all right, so no War Leader's Call. I mean, we're not a deck that's going to just like mulligan until we find one or something with mono red. Cacophony Scamp. Well, thankfully we do have plenty of blockers. This might be the Gruul Pump Spell deck. That's the most common. It could be goblins too. There are kind of enough pieces to play a goblin deck in Standard, thanks to the new Krenku. It's funny how 1-mana creatures that make a trinket are so good. Like, Valerian Epicure doesn't look like much, and it's got to be on the short list of most played cards. Okay, it's definitely the Pump Spell deck. Well, this is frightening because our removal is pretty limited in the main deck, and the Pump Spell deck can deal a lot of damage. Like this, Monstrous Rage, blah, 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 Double Strike. They do need a power 4 greater creature to give it Double Strike, and it doesn't have Trample unless they have Monstrous Rage or something. They gotta be Gruul, right? There's no way they're mono red. You know what, though? Those Lightning Helixes in the sideboard, they're definitely coming in this matchup. Opponent. Ancestral Anger. Pumps it, draws a card. Well, I mean, we're gonna attempt to eat this. I don't think it's gonna work, but they probably got more pump spells, so it's kind of what their deck tries to do. All right. Well, at least they didn't have Double Strike yet, although they're likely to in the future. So, Genzan, well, we will play another Epicure. Play Battlefield Fjord, and yeah, I'm not feeling good about this. This picnic ruiner is going to ruin our picnic, I guess you would say. Opponent goes attacking. I mean, this pump spell deck is so annoying. Okay, we gotta try again. Virtual Loyalty, make it 2/2, try to block, then they play a pump spell, and then we cry. But what else are we gonna do? It's not like we have another line here. Oh my god, did it? Oh my goodness, it worked. I was not expecting that. Okay. Okay, game on. Game on. We're still at 15. And the picnic ruiner is gone. Ooh, and that's a wandering emperor too. You know what? Let's play this Murex. Well, they're an epic here holding down the fort. Well, we'll see. If they can haste something in, we'll snipe it. Otherwise, I guess we Wandering Emperor and just start making tokens since we have Virtue. Virtue's such a scary card. Like, it's just going to outscale whatever our opponent's doing. Now we're kind of hoping they play pump spells on the scamp. I mean, we're going to block. Even if we just get a pump spell out of our opponent's hand, that's a win. Wow. All right, opponent just lets it go. And another scamp. Yeah. And Monastery Schwiftspia. I mean, opponent's almost out of cards, though. All right, so we're going to, ouch, play a Wandering Emperor, take 1. Make it 2/2.
I am the Emperor of Kamigawa. Blades.
Make a 2/2. Play Sokenzan. Play Virtual Loyalty. Ouch. Well, this is still going to be close. We can't really attack this turn. So they have 3 damage from the Scamp, and we only have 2 blockers at the moment. So we're actually still kind of in a sketchy spot here. Another Swifts here. It's really going to depend if this is a pump spell. Well, block the Scamp, block the Etchings. No pump spell, please. Oh, Lightning Helixes are going to be so good. Pound it. Ooh, all right, there's a pump spell. Are we dead? We're dead. All right. Well, little slow on the draw, but we have a plan. It was unfortunate that we drew. You can see our sideboard. Our main deck is very geared for mid-range and control. Our sideboard is almost all aggro cards. Like, we get 3 Brothers at Ends, we get 4 Lightning Helixes, we could also bring in Sunfalls. The question is, what do we cut? I think Skrelv's Hive is probably the sketchiest. Like, it can't block and it deals damage to us, and we don't have any other infect stuff. So we can go down the Skrelv's Hive, since it can't block. Probably the same with Song of Tonton. How many lands are we playing? 26, my god. Speaking of oh my god, 26 lands. All right, let's cut a couple lands actually. that's on the high end. That's on the high end. It's funny to see how Magic Theory has evolved on lands recently. Like a few years ago, even 3 or 4, this deck would probably be playing like 22 lands, maybe 23, maybe even less than that. People would be on it like, oh, I got blood tokens, I got clue tokens, I can use those to hit my land drops. But decks just play way more lands now. Let's go to 1 Virtual Loyalty, 1 Epica, well, maybe 1 Wedding Announcement. I don't know how we're going to make tokens for our War Leader's Call, but we'll figure that out. That's a future problem. The main thing is we actually get a bunch of removal now, which should make life a bit easier against this super aggro deck. Well, all right. Oh my god. We have a Lightning Helix. Also, the Sunfall could be a game-ending blowout, potentially. Sunfall is such a messed up card. I honestly think, I talked about this on Twitter a while ago, but I honestly think it should not be in Standard. I think Standard would be better if Sunfall was banned. They won't ban it, I'm sure they won't ban it, but I do firmly believe that would be true. You just can't play around it. There's no way to really play around it. Opponent gonna get in with the Schwiftspia. Apply the land, and I think we just have to, oh my god, kill the Swiftspear. Hit you for 1. Carpusen Forest and a Picnic Ruina. It worked. All right, free point of damage, and now we will wrath the board. I don't know what our opponent would think we could have, but I guess our deck is pretty weird, so it also makes sense that they would not want to risk it. Picnic Ruiner is one of their best threats. Well, let's play the Virtue. Opponent might be on the Murex plan. Well, let's see what we draw. Well, Get Lost isn't bad. Play a Ganjo, get down the Virtue, and let the beatdown commence. They saw Virtue in game 1, so they could have an answer for it. Whew, they're just Murexing? Okay, that's That is what we wanted to see. Now we would like to draw some creatures. We did sideboard out a bit of token production for more removal, but so far it's paid off, right? Wow, Ancestral Anger on the Might. Sure, yes. And barrages the token. Yep. Bona gets in and hits us. Down to 20. Well, I think at this point, boy, it's a shame to let that go to waste. So I think at this point, we're hoping our opponent adds another creature or two to the board. I really don't want to get lost a Might token. That feels bad. Also, I really don't want to just Sunfall a Might token. All right, well, sure. You did it, opponent. You made us spend or get lost on a Might. Although this is definitely not a show of strength for our opponent, right? Like, the fact that all they're doing is trying to put pump spells on a Might means that their hand is probably full of removal and pump spells. Oh my god! It's Lightning Helix. Not the most epic time for the top deck, but still good here. So it's been weird. We have this blood. Alright, opponent's gonna blow up the Virtue. Well, grab a Plains. We have this blood that we wouldn't mind using. We just haven't drawn anything bad enough to actually discard. Ooh, Lethal Demolition. There's no way they're gonna, you know what, we're just going for it. If you have the answer, you have the answer. Too bad that's after the Virtue of Loyalty got blown up, but that's still some 1/1s. That's still some 1/1s. And our deck is full of ways to pump them. Plus, like, worst case, this can help us make a big Sunfall token, which is part of why Sunfall is so messed up. Not only does it exile, I think we just let this go, sure. Outland Liberator. That's actually pretty good against our deck. Although, not doing much right at the moment. Corrects the map. Questing Druid. That's pretty good. I think what's eventually going to happen is a big Sunfall. They're not going to Toxic us. There could be a world where we want to send this Lightning Helix. Ooh, that's a nice draw. Especially since they milled the Outland Liberator. There might be a world where we can get our opponent low enough where we can send this Helix face to close out the game. Especially if you draw more Helixes. Helix. Well, okay. If we're gonna draw another land, Mirix is about the best land we can draw. Opponent gonna seek the Beast into an Outland Liberator and an Ancestral Anger. It can't block. All they're gonna do is cycle. Yeah, sure, whatever. I imagine they're going to Outland Liberator and kill our Wedding Announcement, which is kind of a shame. We want that card draw, that sweet, sweet card draw. There's Outland Liberator. Oh, but it passes. Ooh, War Leader's Call. So we play the War Leader's Call. Our opponent probably blows that up instead of Wedding Announcement. Yeah, let's get lost the Liberator. Force our opponent to blow up the Wedding Announcement, if they're gonna do it. Which they will. Now this clears the way for the War Leader's Call. I guess part of the reason this deck can get away with playing so many lands is it does like activating Mirix. Now we play the War Leader's Call. 6, yeah. And pass the turd, and holding onto this Lightning Helix might be paying off. Is there a way we die from this? There's no instant speed double strike, right? So do we Helix the token? What if their hand is 4 Giant Gross? Then I guess we die? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they have another removal, another pump spell. Hopefully their hand is just 3. Monstrous Rage, all right, up to 9. Giant Growth, up to 12. Well, oh my god, it's Lightning Helix. Do you really have 4 pump spells? Is that really what's happening? Oh, stayed alive, stayed alive, stayed alive. Questing Druid. Barrage is a token. We draw 8 Mirror. Wait, the barrage doesn't even kill it. They're dead. They're dead. They're dead. Lightning Helix proving its worth. Our opponent thought they had us with the triple pump spell combo kill, and in that case, it was really the healing solve side of Lightning Helix that managed to steal that win. Do we want to change anything? So we're gonna be on the draw. This setup does leave us a little light on token production, but I think maybe there's an argument for Destroy Evil. Destroy Evil does deal with things that they throw pump spells at. You know what? Let's run it. Let's run it. It worked that game. Boy, it would have been embarrassing to die with Sunfall in hand. They say the best removal spell is the one left in hand. That's assuming that you win. The removal spell that's left in hand when you die probably means you did something very wrong. Or at least we're a bit too greedy or something. All right, opponent's on the play, which is legitimately frightening. I mean, we're going to keep this. We can't ask for a whole lot more than this. Monastery Swift Spear. Opponent gets and hits us. Yeah, let's Plains and get down Thrabes Jr. here. Novus Inspector. Picnic Ruiner. Well, oh my god, that's a dead Picnic Ruiner. Picnic Ruiner scares me. That is the card that we really don't want to have sit on the battlefield. I mean, Swift Spear scares me too, but... Opponent, Ancestral Anger, sure. Trying to draw land. Draws a land, but it's a pain land. Opponent goes attack and hits us. I mean, I think we gotta stay aggro for now. Hit ya. Play the Bivouac. And I guess an Epicure? I mean, we got a lot of bodies, which is nice. Alright, opponent's gonna seek the beast. Ancestral Anger, Questing Druid. Well, let's see how they play this. Okay, they just run out the Questing Druid. Then Ancestral Anger. Yup. Goes attacking. No blocks. Down to 13. Oh, I kind of want to go aggro, but I don't think we should. I'm tempted to just, like, slam this and attack for 6. What are the odds that we die in the backswing? Oh, opponent does have all pain lands, which is kind of notable. The other option is we can, like, kill the Questing Druid, attack for a lesser amount. Let's get lost the Questing Druid. Are we blocking? Yeah, we better leave one back just in case. Get in for 2. Hit you to 10 past the turn. Opponent. At least we've gotten through multiple Ancestral Angers, so hopefully we don't see another one of those. Wow, Urabrask's Forge. Interesting. And opponent. Going to do a little mapping. Top card is a Fugitive Codebreaker. And makes a dork. I think we gotta block the Swift Spear. Drop to 12. Draw land. Can still only really do one thing this turn. Alright, I think what we have to do is Soak and Zan. Helix a Swift Spear. Get in with an Inspector. Pass the turn. Opponent Questing Druid. And a Picnic Ruiner. Alright, so we're not taking a ton of damage this turn. Opponent hits us. Well, we'll crack the clue. Draw a tap land, unfortunately. Are we going to lose to Urabrask Forge? Oh, Gleeful Demolition, Gleeful Demolition, Gleeful Demolition. Okay, so I think what we do is we War Leader's Call. All right, opponent takes the beats. Blood. Burn you to 1. And the big upside of this is our opponent does not currently have green mana because it's all pain land, so they can't actually cast most of their pump spells without dying. So we might have just token burned them. The old Gleeful Demolition War Leader's Call combo. Yeah, opponent's desperately looking for green mana. It's a Fugitive Codebreaker. I mean, there are still ways we get one shot. It's still possible. Like, if they can find another Ancestral Anger on the Picnic Ruiner, that would be scary. Opponent says good game. We will say good game back. Block the Picnic Ruiner, block the Picnic Ruiner, block the Questing Druid. I mean, we don't even need we win by just making a token here. That's all we need to win with the War Leader's Call out. Did we get there? Did we overcome the flurry of pump spells? Did we break it? Is this deck actually good? Well, we dropped to 10. And opponent scoops it up, and it's like, this deck's like playing against Standard Infect, which probably sounds funny because there's Toxic in Standard, but the play pattern of this deck feels way more like Modern Infect than Toxic feels like Modern Infect. But like, play a thing, cast the pump spells, like we almost saw it in game number 1, where we were at 12, and our opponent had like a single creature, and if we didn't have Lightning Helix to gain life, we would have just died to all the pump spells, but in the end, War Leader's Call, burning them out. Plus, it's so sweet to have Thraben Inspector back. Such a sweet card. It is token burn time, and ooh, all right. I mean, we need one more of our 26 lands for the War Leader's Call, but this is kind of exactly what we want our hands to look like. 1-drop, token maker, War Leader's Call. Theodore Roosevelt. Opponent. Well, we're gonna get down the Skrelv's Hive. If our opponent's playing control, Skrelv's Hive is actually kind of good until they find a farewell. Opponent. And all right, gonna get lost. Well, all right, we hit the land anyway, so play the land, and I think we just start with Wedding Announcement. We're almost like an enchantment deck, honestly. Our deck has a lot of enchantments. Well, Wedding Announcement, make the dork. Opponent. The Surveil lands are better than I gave them credit for, although I kind of feel like Standard is maybe their worst format. Hit ya. Opponent's only got 2 mana up. You know what? We don't really need a land, right? Let's just play another Inspector. I feel like our opponent probably has a Make Disappear, so playing around to Make Disappear seems worth it. War Leader's Call is so good, but I don't want to just jam it into a obvious counterspell. All right, so Inspector resolves. Pass the turn, draw a card. Well, there's our land. So we missed a land drop, but problem is eventually our opponent's gonna start wrathing, I assume. I don't know, maybe they're like a creature deck. They feel like a control deck to me. Yeah, what has your experience been with the Surveil lands? They've proven to be very good in Modern. In Standard, I think they're still like, they're good, right? It's not quite draw a card, but like some people say, but it's actually like closer than you might think. Well, if they just pass, I think we just crack a clue. We don't want to overextend even more into a sweeper if we can help it. Theodore Roosevelt seems like the kind of person to be playing Sunfall. One of those dirty Sunfall players. I mean, we have Sunfall in our sideboard too. It's too busted not to play. Are they salty roping at Novus Inspector? They're there. We can see the cards move. Okay, opponent has returned. Well, let's crack a clue. I mean, we're going to leave ourselves in pretty good position to rebuild after a Wrath. That's one of the things that I like about this deck is between... Oh, there's going to Wandering Emperor? Okay. And do what with Wandering Emperor? Make a token. Well, I mean, I guess we have to kill this. But one of the things I like about this, we have Wandering Emperors, of course, but we also have, like, Virtue of Loyalties that we can cast at instant speed. We have some creature lands, we got Mirror, so we actually have quite a few ways to rebuild after, like, a Sunfall or something. Sure. But we will try to make a 2/2. Opponent's going to counter it. Well, in that case, we'll play a land. We will play War Leader's Call. Voldared Epicure, ping you twice. Nova's Inspector, ping you once. Opponent's down to 10. And let's see if they got the sweeper. Do you have the farewell? If you have the farewell, we're gonna cry. If you have the Sunfall, we can play around that. Okay, they do have the Sunfall. Well, let's make a 2/2. Ping ya. Crack a map. Hit a land. Play the land. Crack a map. Hit another land. Pass the turn. Well, crack the clue. Ooh, another War Leader's Call. Ooh, Soken's so good. That is so good here. Let's play a Plains. Let's play a War Leader's Call. Opponent. Sure. Oh, we're really close to winning this game. Still scared of a farewell in specific. Not that scared of a memory deluge, though. So as long as it's not farewell, farewell just gets all of our enchantments. Sunfall, I mean, our opponent had double wrath this game, and it's not going to matter. Wandering Emperor? If our opponent taps out to counter, yup. Now, all we gotta do is blow up this blood token. Burn your first X. War Leader's Call. Okay, what do we do about farewell? Nothing, I guess. What can you do about farewell? All men must die, right? That's Vela Magulis, whatever. Like, it's true. Like, if everyone's got to die eventually. If they draw the farewell, I guess we just say farewell, and that's the game. Maybe it's a flavor win, right? WotC reminding us of our own mortality with with cards like farewell that you just can't play around, and they get everything. Thank you for the life lesson, WotC. Now ban those cards, please. I don't know if we change anything, honestly. So I think our deck, if you look at it, we talked about this before. The main deck seems very set for control and like grindy mid-range matchups. And then the sideboard is where all of our removal for aggro is. Yeah, we're gonna try this. No 1-drops, but it's a fine hand. Shadowy Backstreet. Opponent's definitely in on the Surveillance. Ooh, Song of Tatanzan. That's a card that could steal us a win in the late game. With a bunch of hasty rats. Opponent, Shadowy Backstreet. Gleeful Demolition. Well, play the land. I was thinking of Virtue of Loyalty now, so they can't counter it. I think it's better to Virtue of Loyalty on our opponent's turn. If they do counter it, then we get to resolve War Leader's Call. What do you got, Roosevelt? Wow, another tap land. Okay, so apparently they're not countering it. We actually have like an odd amount of potential burn in this hand with the War Leader's Call if it sticks. Bono lets it go. Well, we will Battlefield Fjorge and War Leader's Call. Show me the cut down. I mean, we know they have enchantment removal. We've already seen it. I mean, you can't counter it. I guess they're tanking on whether they kill the knight. I assume if you're choosing, you're better off just killing the War Leader's Call, probably. Like, the knight's gonna get swept up by your sweepers. The War Leader's Call, not as easily. All right, it's a go for the throat. Sure. We're seeing the downside of the Surveillance. As powerful as they are, our opponent has literally played a tap land every turn of this game. There's their first untap land. I like the possibility of keeping this in hand, but I don't know if that's actually a realistic option. Yeah, let's play the Sunken. And I think we just pass and do Wandering Emperor things. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about how we actually have a surprisingly good ability to play at instant speed. Theodore. Wow, opponent just untaps, plays a land. Wandering Emperor. Wow, they have their own Wandering Emperor. Okay, that's fine. Because our Wandering Emperor is just better than their Wandering Emperor. Because we have War Leader's Call. Wait, is there a 1 minute? They're playing Spell Pierce? Okay. So we'll make a Samurai.
That's coming off. Guards, to me.
Ugh, I mean, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Take down Wandering Emperor. Burn ya. Go to combat. An opponent, they know the end is nigh. We didn't even have to do the like cool things. Our opponent just like knew they couldn't beat it. Yeah, War Leader's Call. It's a good Magic card. It's a really good Magic card. Oh, I really wanted to get a Song of Tatanzan win. It's just a one of, so it's not gonna come up very often. But oh, could you imagine with like 2 War Leader's Calls, you just X out all the rats and just burn them out? Oh, so good. Well, sweet. It is token burn time. We are doing some War Leaders Calling, and hand's a little awkward, double Wandering Emperor, but Skrelv's Hive can do some work. It really depends on the matchup. Worse against aggro. Ooh, all right. Well, there will be Sunfalls in our future, I'm pretty sure. Looks like the domain deck. Opponent, more tap lands. Well, play the land. Wedding announcement. Oh, okay, so we have to get in some damage, and then I guess try to meteor out our threats for the Sunfalls. Oh, it's dinosaurs. Oh. Well, life is way better than I thought. I thought life was bad, but no, life might actually be good now. Yeah, let's just play a Wedding Announcement. Play a Voldaren Epicure. Pang ya. Pass the turn, double up the tokens. Okay, so getting Wrath should be less of a concern, hopefully. Well, okay, let's see how this goes. How bad is it? Fight rigging. Snapped it off instantly. Gishath's son's avatar. Well, I guess we're dead. That is unfortunate. Oh, the Dino High Roll. Come on, Magic Gods. All right. So opponent, 3 cards deep. Well, at least they hit 0 dinos. Unfortunately, though, it has vigilance, so we're still just kind of dead. Yeah. Opponent. Yeah, that is the worst thing that could happen. Like, that is just the straight up worst way this could go for us. Opponent goes to combat attacks. Wandering Emperor. Unfortunately, can't actually do anything. If we make a 2-2, it's a 3-3. I mean, we gotta try. It's super high risk, but we have to try to make a 3-3 and put everything in front of the Gishath. Actually, no, that doesn't even work. We die. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah. So I guess we had to snipe the Hammer Skull, but there's no way we actually survived that. All right, well, that's unfortunate. Good news is, we have answers. We got answers. We got a plan for this. Fight rigging. Such a high rolly card. Such a high rolly card. Well, I mean, that was just like the dream, right? Our opponent hammer skull into fight rigging into their best possible card on the top of their deck. I mean, we'll keep this. This hand means what happened last game will not happen, right? Because we have the Destroy Evil, so we can blow up Fight Rigging, we can blow up various dinosaurs. Otherwise, this hand's kind of just okay, though. Alright, I do like the Wedding Announcement. We might be able to Virtue of Loyalty into Wedding Announcement, draw a card. Ixalani Lore Keeper. Alright, so we'll make the 2/2. Play the land, play the Wedding Announcement. About it. Down to 16, we draw land. Intrepid Paleontologist. So we can't attack very well. I mean, we can attack with 1, right? We can get in with the knight. Hit ya. Play the bivouac. Demolition. Make a token. All right. I mean, I guess we're kind of hoping our opponent plays something big here so we can Destroy Evil it. They're going to fight rigging. All right, this is a little less explosive. Yeah, I mean, I guess we care. All right. Blow up the fight rigging? Because we want to play the Virtue of Loyalty, and we don't want to get high rolled like happened last game. Wow, another Gleeful Demolition. Well, play the land. Play the Virtue. Get in with a knight. I mean, this is basically, opponent needs a Wrath. They need a Wrath. Did they just auto-stack the triggers in the arena? Really? The only wrong way to stack those triggers is to make the token after the Virtue of Loyalty. Well, we lost a counter. I mean, it is unlikely. Seriously. Well, okay, so we get another Wedding Announcement. And a land. Well, I mean, our opponent did... Oh, I guess it's our fault. We needed to stack the triggers, I see. I mean, opponent did blow up a bunch of their mana, so not all is lost. There's a Hammer Skull. Ooh, but there's a Destroy Evil. Kill you, and then fire up the Bivouac. And smack you around a bit. Opponent down to 5. Untap, token first. Yeah, all right. Nova's Inspector's fine. I mean, our opponent's pretty close to being dead here. Nova's Inspector is actually great, right? Because we have Gleeful Demolition. Passing. Well, I mean, fire up the Bivouac. We got to make him have it. So they got to have a removal spell. And they do not. Okay, that went much better. That went much better. Do we want even more removal? Do we need lightning helixes? Do we even care about trying to sweep away the dorks? Probably not, right? I think the dorks gotta live, and we just gotta kill the big stuff. All right, no fight rigging, please. At least not on turn 3. That game 1 draw was so brutal. I mean, I think we keep this. A little scary that we got no removal, but... Well, run out the Nova's Inspector. About it. Ixalani Lore Keeper. Down to 19. Could use some removal. Opponent plays a land. There's the Hammer Skull. Well, I think we actually cracked the clue here. I think we'd rather try to draw a removal spell. Okay, like a Get Lost. Opponent gets in, hits us. And the Epicure. So this is good. We'll see what our opponent does. If they play fight rigging, we blow up something. We need to let this resolve. And then blow up the Hatcher. Oh, okay, we actually still need even more removal. Oh, how about a Sunfall? Ooh, Wandering Emperor. Okay. So this is just a 0/1. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, let's just pass and see what our opponent does. There's no way they're not going to attack with the Hammer Skull. Oh, max punished. That was the one draw that makes this plan bad. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, let's see how high they rolled. Into another fight rigging. Not as high as game 1. All right, opponent attacks. Wandering Emperor.
Feel the energy of
Exile the Hammer Skull.
like what?
Untap. We draw an Epicure. Well, let's tick up. on a Epicure. Opponent's gonna do some blocking and some blocking. Well, play Murex. Play the Epicure. Pass the turn. Hopefully they don't have anything big enough to turn on the fight rigging. Okay, this is actually not that bad for us. So they sweep, but we get to Virtue of Loyalty, Virtue of Loyalty. Oh my god, that's even better. Gleeful Demolition. Zokinzan, Virtue of Loyalty. Hit you for 4. All right, do they have another Wrath? Hammer Skull. They get to fight rigging spin. Into Carnosaur. Spins into Ixalani's Lorekeeper. We have survived all the fight riggings for now. We can't win this turn, though. What's on top? All right, Paleontologists don't care. And what's on top? The Paleontologists still don't care. Opponent passes. We draw planes. Well, Virtue of Loyalty number 2. Pass the turn. Grow the Dorks. So I think we block, 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 block. Oh no! They're playing Wandering Emperor!
Let me show
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Remember your training.
Oh no. That is not a card I expected to be in our opponent's deck, and it is a card that is probably going to kill us. Wow, that's not good. We gotta kill the Wandering Emperor, because giving this Carnosaur first strike is very bad for us. Wandering Emperor down.
I guess.
Now we're gonna see the power of Murex, I think. So Murex, make a Might. Upgrade the Might with Gleeful Demolition. Yeah, we'll hold on to the Murex. All right, untap the Dorks, grow the Dorks. Fight rigging, gonna grow and grow. Well, play the Epicure. Ping ya. Cash in the blood to discard this Murex. See, if we can hit a removal spell. I mean, we just swing out, right? We have to. Opponent blocks here. How does it go wrong? It goes wrong if they have Wandering Emperor. Then it goes pretty wrong. But if they had Wandering Emperor, they would have attacked last turn, right? That makes the most sense. That's how they did it the turn before. If they got a Wandering Emperor and they slow rolled it, okay, they have an Aganjo. So opponent, wow, my goodness. And a Get Lost. So opponent did have double removal in hand. They drop to 9. We will make a Might. Play the Bivouac. Untap the Dorks. All right, it comes down to this. Opponent, fight rigging. Triggers, triggers. The problem is this has trample, right? So if they drew a removal spell and we single block, we die. The problem is if we double block, if they drew a creature. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we go to 3. Opponent passes. Well, an opponent scoops it up, and we overcame the fight rigging. And this deck seems like it can kind of take on all comers. Those fight riggings were scary. I mean, we got to see the max fight rigging in game 1, where when it works and you're slamming a Gishath on turn 4, it is kind of insane. But this game, our virtual loyalties managed to overcome, and just making the tokens, the Gleeful Demolitions. The Gleeful Demolitions were key, just giving us enough bodies to survive. Well, that was sweet. Yeah, all right. We got a little curve going. 2 Zokinzan's a little weird, but we probably want to channel one anyway. Opponent, Aganjo, and all right, aggro. Well, let's see how this goes, because we don't actually really play much main deck removal. We have a ton in the sideboard, our Lightning Helixes and such. Opponent, Mountain, and an Epicure, sure. Oh, is this like, okay, Nova's Inspector. I think this is like the Regal Bunny Corn deck, right? We'll see, we'll see. Descry to the top. Goes attacking, no blocks. Yeah, I'm feeling kind of far behind already. Yeah, we gotta play the Novus Inspector. For blocking purposes. Play the Battlefield Forge past the turn. Bonnet, Cavern. Unhuman. Sanguine Evangelist. Gonna bat it up. As Warden of the Inner Sky is kind of popping off here. At least we're not really getting attacked this turn. Alright, opponent's cries to the bottom. I mean, I guess we're taking 3, but they're not attacking with their team. Taps again. Okay, 4. We're taking 4. Alright, we really gotta draw a removal spell, and it can't be... Boy, this thing, it's turn 3, and we're already getting smacked for 4. Kind of popping off. We're gonna discard one of these channel lands because... I don't think we're gonna have... into another land. We don't have time for anything. Oh, boy. Yeah, I mean, we're just dead here. We don't have cards that can get us out of this start in our main deck. We just don't have the removal. Good news is, Lightning Helixes, Brotherhood End, Lithomatic Barrage, Sunfalls. We pretty much get to bring our entire sideboard in. Bring in the board. We'll go 2 Wandering Emperors. Go down the Song of Tanzan. Maybe a War Leader's Call. If we're going to trim some of the token stuff, the War Leader's Call does get worse. Maybe that Wandering Emperor is just not... Maybe we go 1 Wandering Emperor. Wandering Emperor is a little sketchy, right? It's good, but our opponent just goes so wide that sniping 1 creature is probably not going to be enough to win us the game. Maybe we do something like this. Yeah, all right. Run it like that. I mean, we get a ton more removal and a bunch of sweepers. And we get to be on the play, so let's see if it's enough. That was a frightening start. I mean, I guess that's what the Money Corn deck's trying to do, right? The upside of that deck is if you get off to the super fast start, you can just run people over. We have 2 Sunfalls in hand. Feel a little bad about it, but we're not above wrecking the token deck with a Sunfall or 2 when we have to. Yeah, I think we do need to play the Inspector. I was thinking about trying to hold it till after the Sunfall, but I think we need the coup to make sure we hit our 5th land on time. Casting Sunfall on time is going to be essential. Another Warden. We will do a little blocking. Okay. So opponent did blow up the clue. Not something you see very often. People using their gleeful demolitions on their opponent's clues, but opponent also has War Leader's Call. Does a little attacking. We will do a little blocking. We'd like to draw land here. Lightning Helix. Well, I mean, I think we have to play Wedding Announcement. No attacks. Make a dork. Oh, if we lose this game with 2 Sunfalls in hand, I'm going to be so sad. That clue, our opponent's play, as weird as it looks, and I still think it's 99% wrong. The play of blowing up the clue might actually end up working out for our opponent here, because if we miss our land drops, we can't get to the Sunfall. Opponent's gonna tap some stuff, do some scrying. We'd rather Sunfall, and then... Oh, that's still not a land. We really need to attack. All right, so I think we need to get lost to kill a Warden. We're gonna go attacking, as greedy as this is, because we need to draw lands. All right, we hit a land. It might be too slow, though. This could go very wrong. Opponent land on human, because they have the burn from the War Leader's Call, too. Oh, please, just crack some maps. We're cool with the map cracking. Go on a little trip, get your directions. That is perfectly fine. All right, they're gonna tap him to grow the dork. Scries to the bottom. The life gain from this Lightning Helix. Ooh, Sokunzan, okay. Well, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. Here they come. And, oh, okay. So maybe this won't hurt. This actually worked out amazing. Kind of hilariously. I think our opponent casting this Nightmare of Eos, even though it means drawing multiple cards, that is exactly what we needed to happen to have a chance here. Because that means we're not taking damage. Now we can sit back and do some blocking and then just Sunfall everything away. Warden of the Inner Sky. Get pinged. I mean, if we have to, we can Lightning Helix to gain life. Opponent's going to do some tapping. I mean, we're going to get smacked by this Warden for a bunch. Makes a Murex token for some reason. Down to 11. Wow, opponent is emptying the hand. Emptying the hand. All right, we get ping. They make a clue. Oh, this is going to be a brutal Sunfall. Hopefully a game-winning Sunfall. It's going to be a turn later than we wanted, but opponent Grows the Warden of the Inner Sky, scries to the bottom. So I think what we end up doing here is just Lightning Helix on our opponent's face. And, all right, Helix your face. Gain a bit of life. Drop to 8. There's bad news, opponent. There's just a tiny bit of bad news, though. Opponent gonna tap some stuff to do some scrying. I mean, this is max brutality Sunfall here. We'll play the land. Sunfall. Clean things up a smidge, make a casual 10-10. And now our opponent needs a blocker, or they just get incubated. Resolute, all right, Resolute Reinforcements is blockers. And it turns on their maps. Although we could just Sunfall again. Top of the deck, Epicure. All right, that's a couple damage. And cracks the clue to play the Epicure. So we're gonna be at 4. So I think what we do is play the land. Sunfall number 2. And Gleeful Demolition the Little Incubate. Burn ya. All right, what's on the top of our opponent's deck? They got some bloods. Can they find a way out of this? Thankfully, we're at 4, which means Gleeful Demolition is not lethal. It would put us to 1. Opponent, is it good enough? Imodane's Recruiter makes some 3/3s and burns us. So if we, let's think about this. If we fire up this, and then we turn on this, opponent blocks here, blocks here. Okay, so I think that's just lethal, right? Fire up the Ox, swing, and it looks like we pull it out just barely. All right, the Sunfalls, the dirty, dirty Sunfalls. It took 2. It took 2, but they came through. Now the real challenge, though, can we do it with our opponent playing first? You're gonna need a Brothers at end, I think. All right, run it back. Come on, let's get that 5-0. Let's get the 5-0 run with with this deck. This deck's sweet. I like this deck. It's nice to see some new cards actually doing work in Standard. This hand is pretty good. 3 lands. Oh my god, it's Lightning Helix, a little blocking, and a very dirty Sunfall. There's not really any way for our opponent to play around it, I don't think. They just have to be aggro. Yeah, let's Battlefield Fjorge and Novus Inspector. I mean, our opponent's best draws could be fast enough just to raise. Like if they go Mountain, blow this up with Gleeful Demolition into Night Errant of Eos. Wait, no, you're not really doing that, are you? Wow, they just have the nuts. Okay. All right, so this is incredibly bad for us. Yeah, this is like the nut draw, the dream. So I guess the good news is, if there is good news in this situation, we do get to blow up this clue to make some 1/1s, play a Bivouac. So we have some blockers at least. Again, we're just trying to essentially stay alive until we can Sunfall. That's the game plan. I mean, this is literally our opponent's best possible start. If we overcome this, maybe this matchup isn't so bad because our opponent literally cannot start better than they started. It is the absolute nuts best possible draw, the reason to play the deck. Now it's the best possible draw. I spoke too soon. I thought it was already the best possible draw. No, now that they also have a random end the festivities, the 5-0 dream is dying. It is dying. I don't think we can live until the Sunfall comes. Play Sokensan. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't get rid of the Night Errant of Eos. It does get rid of the rest. Opponent gonna hit us for 4. A removal spell for the night would be sweet. Opponent cracks the clue. Follow up. Plains. Warden of the Inner Sky. Play the land. And yeah, I mean, I think we just have to Lightning Helix. We go up to 8. This is a very low life total in an Imodane Recruiter matchup, though. That's the issue here. Opponent hits us to 2. Well, no. Okay. Almost did a little punting. 1, 2. Wow, we're going to 1. Ouch. 3, 4. Soken's at number 2. Gotta do it. Sunfall. Can we stabilize at 1? Come on. Hold. Gleeful Demolition. Okay. And I think we have to pass because there's too many things that just kill us. We have to get above 1 or else like a Voldaran Epicure kills us. All right. So we're going to Lightning Helix to get a little bit out of the danger zone. Playing a wedding announcement. Pass the turn. This would be the comeback of the century for the 5-0 opponent, Mirex. Passes. Well, we will play a wedding announcement. Play a Mirex. Opponent Mirexes. It's probably going to come down to who draws the War Leader's Call, honestly. Epic. Oh, there's the Epicure that would have killed us. That's an Epicure that would have killed us had we not Lightning Helixed. Opponent gonna sack the blood, discard a land, looking for something good. Nova's Inspector. Okay, that's a redraw. Thankfully, we have all these wedding announcements, though. Do we block? I think we have to here. Yeah, we're gonna block. You know, it'd be good. A Lightning Helix. Oh, Wandering Emperor is actually pretty good, too. That is a way we could theoretically gain some life. We're gonna make a couple more tokens. Oh, watch our opponent. Oh my god, it's Lightning Helix off the top. That would be less good. Opponent cracks to draw. Untaps. Resolute Reinforcements. Okay. Why are they looking at their creatures? Oh my god, they found a Knight Errant of Eos. Okay. Okay, just an Epicure. What if we Wandering Emperor? Is it worth Wandering Emperor? Wandering Emperoring? Not really. All right, let's Mirex. Untap. If we swing with everything and our opponent doesn't block, we lose. Well, we don't lose, but it's not good. Opponent blocks. Two, 3. Brotherhood End. Sweep. Draw a card. This ended up being an incredibly close game. Epicure pings us to 2. Well, I think we're going to 1. Untap, we draw Mirex. So play Mirex. I think we just attack and hope our opponent doesn't block. Do you play around it? Are you No! Well, we gotta go for it. Wandering Emperor? They could have removal. They could have removal spell. But they need a removal spell or they die. Or they need a burn spell to kill us. All right, Case of the Gateway Express discarded. Tick it up. Got the GGs. Wow! What a comeback! What a game! What a deck! Wow, that was so good. We had no business. We had no business winning that. That was the draw that makes our opponent's deck a deck. We had to face the best possible draw. And it was even better than that. Like, the nut draw is the 1-drop that makes a artifact into the Gleeful Demolition, into turn 2 Knight Errant of Eos. Opponent had that. We thought we were stabilizing with a Gleeful Demolition to make chump blockers while we waited for a Wrath. Our opponent followed up with a Warden and to end the festivities to sweep away all except one of our blockers in somehow, some way. At 1 point of life. Honestly, that was one of the most interesting and best games of Standard I played in the Standard format so far. Like, shout out to our opponent who played that game, I think, pretty well. I'm sure the YouTubes are very good at finding misplays that I don't even see. So I'm sure you can find my misplays or our opponent's misplays. I felt like our opponent played that game really well. I thought that we played it reasonably well, and it ended up being a really close, interesting, back and forth, even a top deck battle. When it came down to it, this was in old school, like 2015, hoping you find your thing off the top. We had turns we were dead to our opponent drawing like a Voldaran Epicure, drawing many things. We managed to fade, and in the end, our opponent, they made the wrong choice. I mean, it was the wrong choice. They died, right? They could have played around this by chump blocking. I'm not sure the value of the Voldaran Epicure with us at 1. Like, what is the upside? I guess if you draw Imodane's Recruiter, it's worth keeping it around. Honestly, I probably would have. I think I would have just jump blocked, but maybe I wouldn't have. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say. I think that's the correct choice though. But yeah. I mean, our opponent was going for the win. Can definitely respect that. Our opponent's thinking, well, if I have this epic here, I go to 1, I make a Murex token, I attack back for lethal. Turns out we had the Wandering Emperor though. But what a game! Just seriously, what a great game of Magic, and that's why Magic's so good. What a amazing game. But anyway. That's a 5-0 run. Let me pull up my Untapped. I mean, I guess this might as well be our little wrap up here, but let's look at the stats real quick. I'm pretty sure these are the only games I've played with it. I didn't really do much practicing with this deck. Almost to Mythic too. We're close. We're close. Yeah, 5-0. The 5-0 run with imported deck 14. But yeah, the deck kind of crushed it. So I like it. If you like a little sneaky aggro deck, some sweet synergy, some enchantment stuff, I would definitely recommend this deck. I will say, when I saw 26 lands, I was like, oh, that's a lot for a deck like this. But it's 2024. We play more lands than we used to in our Magic decks. I think it's probably actually correct. If I built this deck, I would probably play 24 lands and it would be incorrect. I would hope I would play 25 lands. I don't think I would get all the way to 26 lands, but it never really felt flood outy. And even though, like, I guess Murex is our big mana thing, that's like our main plan. And Murex is like legit good when you have War Leader's Call. But I don't think I'd really change anything about this deck. Like, I guess you could go down 1 land, but you're not going to activate your Murexes very often. The kind of odd plan of having like very little removal in the main deck, 2 Get Lost, 3 Wandering Emperors, that's it. And then just a sideboard full of every removal spell in the format. It actually kind of worked. I think the main deck setup is really good against a lot of the best decks in the format, right? Against the mid-range decks, the control decks, the domain decks, we don't really want a bunch of like Lightning Helixes and Brothers Sedans. Although Lightning Helix, the ability to go face was so relevant that maybe that would be worth it. But I really like the plan. It worked really well. I don't think I'd change anything about this deck, in all honesty. It's a really sweet War Leader's Call deck. Skrelv's Hive is a little hit or miss, but it's so good with War Leader's Call. Sadly, we never got to see Song of Tanzan go off. I guess if there was a flex slot, it's probably Song of Tanzan would be the easiest thing to cut, but overall, the deck's super sweet. So if you like being aggressive and winning games of Magic and just having really interesting games, would definitely recommend some Token Burn. So anyway, that's Token Burn. That's been our deck for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.